one of these other big high-profile transfers coming out of the LCK Challenger Series. Was a great part of that Hama Life roster. DnDn, on the other hand, we'll need to see what level he's at.
I'm really curious to see the Yunara priority, because we saw yesterday Heretics were willing to first pick it, and then in the other series it went all the way to 4-5 in the KC versus Na'Vi. I want to see, does BDS or SK have really high priority? Do they want to ban it? Do they not even care about it? Because based on what we've seen so far, the champion looks good, but not mind-blowingly overpowered. Also very level.
Yeah, it definitely has had some good team fights. We now see Ezreal banned. Varus has also been banned, so I think these are pretty conventional, solid picks. Nothing too crazy in the bans yet. Maokai, the final one. Ice, when BDS I think a lot of Ice's career on BDS has been defined by utility carries, things like Jhin, Ashe, Varus. We've seen that he can...
and hyper carries.
Yeah, and we've seen the hyper carries for sure. But I do wonder with new members coming into the roster, what they will prioritize. Every time I say roster, I think Rooster now, and I'm going to blame you for that. As Wukong is going to be the first pick. Rumble potentially to follow.
Yeah, interesting here that they prioritize the Wukong so highly. Very good team fighting on the champion, but quite a weak early game and a weak early clear. And it is going to be matched up against the Trundle, who is quite a bit stronger in the early game. And fighting here.
And I do really like having a pillar with the Rumble ulti, potential to control the terrain. BDS, it seems, wants to go all in on the kind of press R and win sort of comp. I do think Boukada, if he's comfortable on the Wukong, setting up a new player on your roster to have a comfortable first game, especially against a former team, does make sense to me. But an early Jinx lock would be surprising. You said hyper carries, I said utility. It seems like hyper carries are at least the hovers.
Yeah. I mean, Sivir is a very safe... It's like the vanilla ice cream. Oh! It's going to be the Jinx, actually.
Which is like vanilla ice cream with the little sprinkles. It's like the stracciatella, a little bit of chocolate.
It feels a little bit more risky. She's a little bit more vulnerable than the Sivir, but she still does have great push, great wave clear, great scaling. And just going to be the Azir answered by SK, and they're both kind of just playing into the scaling fantasy here. But it's interesting, I feel like Jinx this early on, I can't really see any other team prioritizing Jinx this highly.
No, nor could I. Of course, already Keduii's Ezreal has been taken away. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple more AD carry bans, although maybe they want to target support. The entire top side locked in for SK.
I mean, SK really needs some great team fighting start options from support roles. I think something like the Rell, like the Nautilus, like the Alistar could be good bans for BDS. Because if SK is forced to have kind of more of this follow-up support, then they're going to struggle, right? Trundle doesn't want to start a fight. Rumble doesn't want to start a fight. They want to have something to follow up on properly.
Yeah, I completely agree. It can be really tricky when you have a composition that is... I mean, Rumble is pretty good at starting proactive fights in the sense that with another form of CC, it's a really powerful follow-up.
Yeah.
But I am looking for that go button. And for LEC especially, all of last season felt very often defined in draft by whoever has the better go button, whoever has more reliable ways to start a fight, usually
That's like how Fnatic got half their wins. They just had Vi, and then they started every fight.
Razork really good at Q flashing. Very important skill. So now Jhin, okay, so they don't want to give them the utility angle. Of course, Jhin Rumble, really strong pairing, does shore up some of the weaknesses, means that if you pair that with an engage support, kind of all your engage problems are solved.
Yeah. I would think Rell would be the last ban here, just to target one more engage support. They could continue trying to target ADCs. It's just Jhin felt like kind of the obvious one, and then after that, I think SK has a lot of different options. They could choose to go utility, or they could just choose to match hyper carry. It's actually going to be the Lucian, so they were worried about the Lucian, potential Lucian Nami, or Lucian Milio, or even Lucian Braum with the counter pick on 5.
Corki. I think a somewhat predictable option, again, Keduii last split was really
Corki Ezreal.
Corki Ezreal. He had the one insane series against Fnatic, I believe it was, on the Ezreal, and then we essentially saw it permaban for the rest of the split, and Corki was kind of next in line.
Yeah.
So looking at the support pick now, as well as top or mid lane pick, I guess technically the Aurora can be a flex.
I think it's going to be into the Rumble, most likely, when they picked it this early on. And just the Rell sets up the Jinx and the Wukong very nicely. I am a bit worried about this Jinx laning phase early on. Now SK are going to get counterpick on support. Corki is much stronger in the early game. So if I was BDS, I would probably be thinking about swapping early on, try to get us out of that matchup. Because if Jinx can just push waves and kind of play PvE, she's very happy.
Completely. And incredible at just knocking down those towers, picking those early tower plates. If there ever is a discrepancy in the swaps, BDS Had some pretty solid early games last split, pretty well rehearsed. Sylas now the lock-in.
Not the most like insane ultimates on the side of SK. I mean, you do have the Equalizer and the Azir wall, which are nice, but it's not like anything to write home about. So it's a bit curious.
I mean, if they lock in Nico, things definitely feel better. A lot of, strong AP ratios. Nautilus would feel a bit more reliable. Always a bit awkward when there is a Wukong on the team, right? The moment of hesitation where you have to make sure to ult the right target. But interesting choice here from Nuke. Must just feel confident that he can push an advantage in this matchup.
I mean, his whole team is very much diving in, so he fits that identity very well. And I do think overall, BDS comp, I like it quite a bit more than SK. I think SK, if they do get an early lead on bot lane and top lane, that they can snowball that. But if this Jinx just gets to free scale, Boukada gets to start the fights however he wants, it looks pretty easy. Get one reset, and Jinx takes over.
An opportunity to snowball, I think, through the Corki, as you've highlighted. We'll see what the the Korean top lane battle looks like. Rooster with a range advantage early maybe can try to pull out an edge, but Ice is kind of the thing that is scary versus Abbedagge on the other side. Two hyper-scaling options, one in the mid lane, one in the bot lane. As we have our own, honestly, LEC European EMEA League of Legends icon, the cow himself in the audience to bless this first series.
We have Alistar at home.
He didn't, I don't know if they took the bell away. Maybe he's not allowed to have the bell, I'm not sure. Either way, grateful to have you here, friend. Bringing the energy. Okay, and here we go. Come on. There's so many rosters that didn't change. Both of these guys cooking up.
There's a lot of
3 and 2
changes
changes, 5 changes. This is going to be spicy. There's a Jinx in the audience. Jinx got picked. Now we understand. We understand why they didn't pick Yunara.
Yeah, Yunara ended up going completely ignored here. And it's going to be the heal on Parus here with Spellbook. Quite an interesting selection.
Defensive option. You mentioned concerns about Ice getting run over.
Yeah.
Seems like they want to
just try to survive and weather the storm of this early game. I think that's really the name of the game here. How can bot lane snowball and how can Skeanz impact the map early on to set SK up for an early advantage? Because if this Jinx just gets to free scale, she's very happy.
Yeah, getting that one item. See if SK misstep though. Ice with lethal tempo, obviously in those extended trades can still do a lot of work. And I really want to see Loopy and Keduii playing well together. We saw in the NNO Cup, there was a lot of moments where SK really didn't feel on the same page. And unlike a lot of our teams playing on stage today, they have gotten time together to play some stage games, even if it's a lower stakes tournament. So yeah, hopefully that has been a boon for them. And we can see the level of coordination you kind of need to have if you want to be playing an aggressive bot lane like this.
I mean, that can be very valuable, but it can be a double-edged sword. Because then if you find yourself struggling in a lower division tournament, it can really ruin the confidence of the team. So hopefully they took the right lessons out of that, as we got some early fighting already.
All in for Parus, trying to make the most of the shield early on, but SK, unsurprisingly, extending the trade to the best of their ability.
And that's that W start on Nautilus. You get great trades with it, and it just makes it so difficult for BDS to actually win the trades. But it does look like they're going to be able to get the push here just with Jinx rockets and attack speed, which is very nice for them. And that could set them up for a potential early 4th wave swap to get out of this matchup, because usually it's more around level 3 when Corki unlocks all his abilities. That's when things start to get a little bit more dicey.
I miss when we would play for the 3rd wave dive.
It's crazy how much we swap these days, no?
We swap
isn't
a lot.
It weird how the game didn't change, but people just realized that swapping is, okay, we got a crazy fight
strong,
here.
But all-inning 2v2 is also pretty good, although Ice immediately going to back up as Keduii finally able to lay some cooldowns in the fight. Loopy taking a pretty decent chunk, though. Makes things a bit awkward. Nice re-engage. The heal already popped, though. Loopy fighting off more than he can chew. Lethal tempo is fully proc. This is an easy finish for Ice. Now he looks to get one more. What are you doing? The attack speed is stacking. A massive fumble. The barrier. The flash. Both force. The Q coming through.
Oh my God.
It's the double!
And we were talking about this Jinx scaling. She's already 2 kills at 2 minutes. It's a disaster for SK. That's now Abbedagge is in trouble.
Okay! Okay, I thought we were watching League of Legends. Apparently we're watching an MLG highlight right now.
BDS are just making fun of them.
That was a catastrophic 2v2 bot lane. Now, we didn't see what happened mid, so I'm not going to have a strong opinion there immediately, other than the fact that Abbedagge died, but...
That's true.
I said I thought the coordination, I hoped it would come through. You said it could be, could be a double-edged sword. This was rough.
Yeah, I mean, Loopy here trying to go for Parus, but the HP diff is so much higher in Parus' favor, and then Ice can just flash forward, and Keduii wants to try to keep fighting. He's continuing to auto-attack, which then lets Parus reach him with the Q. And Nuke
Here's
just
the pro view.
dashes forward and kills him.
Auto, flash,
Makes
auto.
it look easy.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, that's good, I suppose.
All right. Well, I'm going to say that might undermine our point about this being a life or death matchup when they're laughing after getting 2v2 killed, but it's good that the vibes are good, I
mean,
guess.
sometimes when it's like so unbelievable what happened, you just have to laugh.
Yeah, what
like
else can
probably
you do?
they were saying in draft
like
that this is a good matchup, we're going to snowball.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just because you're not supposed to laugh, it just makes you want to laugh.
That's true.
That said, this is... We're in uncharted territory now. You know, normally as casters, we set up expectations. We go, this champ does this champ does that, and then individual players can always upset those expectations, and that's what BDS have done. Because Jinx isn't supposed to have 2 kills in a 700 goal lead. Sylas certainly isn't supposed to have a kill either, but here we are. So BDS get to play out now a very different game of League of Legends where they don't really have to swap.
Yeah.
They're probably just stronger in the 2v2.
Yeah, now you can just start playing for Drakes, keep pushing this Corki in, try to leverage your gold lead to get a further CS lead. You can just slowly try to bleed out the enemy bot lane that way. You can see Loopy here a bit homeless as he just walks around.
Parus on the way in. Wants to get him out of the mid lane. They're just trying to get pushed so that Nuke can have, you know, a nice base timing here, although they might have to stay for one more wave.
Abbedagge holding the wave nicely here just to annoy Nuke a little bit so you can chunk him on every CS that he goes for.
Yeah, Nuke side has TP, so there's an angle here maybe at a level 6 to get a bit of support. Skeanz quiet so far, as has, you know, been Boukada, and honestly the top side as well. You know, all the new players we wanted to talk about hanging out, farming, pushing in the case of Rooster. It's the old guard murdering each other.
Yeah. This definitely favors Boukada though. If I'm a Wukong here and I'm nearly level 6, my laners are just winning, and I haven't had to interact with enemy jungler at all, I'm pretty damn happy.
Yeah. And again, I think you're joining a new team. Obviously you want a style, but if your new team just starts solo killing your old team, I don't think you're complaining. You know, I think you're feeling pretty good.
Especially as a jungler, you know? Like, there's nothing better than your lanes just winning and then you feel good as a jungler.
Yeah, and of course for Boukada, third team and 3 splits, been moving around a lot. 1 on KC, rough first split on SK. We see the play happening mid lane, and instantly looks like they're going to try to find 1-for-1, but Abbedagge trying to slide out, flash in from Boukada to try and finish. Skeanz chasing as well.
And a nice attempt there by Boukada to block the Azir E, but doesn't quite have the damage, so ends up wasting his flash. But still, it's another fight that goes mostly in favor for BDS as they get the chunk out Abbedagge, but he is able to catch all the minions, so it's just going to be Boukada wasting his flash.
No. Losing the flash, definitely not ideal, but getting some action on the map pre-6 definitely does not hurt. As Skeanz pretty confident that he wins out in the 1v1. Boukada S-juking a little bit, maybe just to make him second guess if there was a smite steal attempt. Skeanz unfazed, just continues to farm up. Level 6 now for the Trundle. Gonna make life much more difficult for Parus especially.
And despite the early gold lead on Jinx, her items are not incredibly scary here, a 3v3 could still favor SK if they're able to get a good hook going.
Oh, that's a zap you want a body block in that case. So Trundle spotted, roll in the bot lane.
It's just gonna have to recall. Then maybe this allows BDS to set up play for Drake.
This is the only circumstance in which I think a double kill makes the game less filled with action, because we've just... Ice doesn't want to fight, he wants to farm. And now that he has kills, he doesn't have to fight and he can kind of just stay back.
That's true.
And chill.
Yeah.
Whereas if Corki gets 2 kills, we're off to the races. You know, Fist fight.
It's also like Corki can just W forward if he wants to fight.
Yeah.
While if Jinx wants to fight, Corki just presses back and then nothing really happens.
Yep. But soon, perhaps another fight as we're getting ready for the grub spawn. Skeanz already on the top side. Abbedagge fighting for mid prio. BDS will be a little bit late to this one if they do want to back after this wave. But Abba hovering to the bottom side. It seems like neither side is particularly keen to rush down the grubbies.
Overall, objective-wise, quite a slow game here with neither team prioritizing the Drake early. Maybe now SK could look to swap or trade the Drake for the grubs, as SK's bot lane has chosen to stay bot rather than trying to swap. It looks like that's what they're going for. I think Corki will just start off the Drake here. BDS gets 3 grubs. Although, oh, BDS are happy with 1 grub and they want to try to contest him on Drake.
Feeling like they're stronger on the map right now. Nuke certainly can do a lot of work in those skirmishes. Abbedagge only with the recurve bow. It's going to be a little bit tough. Keduy's relatively powerful on the Corki. Nuke ready to come over the wall. He might have the full 5v5. Swifties for DnDn means he's going to be there first. Nuke ready to respond with the Nautilus ultimate. DnDn. Good management of the heat. Dragon is going to go over the side of SK, so BDS opt to contest, hoping to double down and get everything, but instead only grab a single grub and really just waste a lot of time.
Yeah, BDS got greedy here. They wanted to get everything, and they were just not strong enough. With Rell getting hooked out and then getting chunked, not able to actually start a fight. Rumble was a little bit faster than the Aurora as well. Breath of fresh air for SK. As they finally get a Drake, you can start playing for that Drake win con.
Yep.
You can actually force some early fights and play around that.
Yeah, definitely feels good. Solid play overall. Swifties actually making the difference, which I was concerned about. I'm like, oh, you bought Swifties, you go to the fight. It's like, this guy's got a lost chapter, surely you don't do anything. But hey, if it's the difference of being in the fight or not being in the fight, and it helps your lane phase be a bit easier.
Now I'm not sure if Boukada can go for these 2 remaining grubs, as Corki is looking to swap up into top lane, but it looks like Loopy just wants to reset with the wards and Trundles on both sides. So eventually BDS are able to get all the grubs, just everything ended up being slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, a little bit awkward, but they've still got control of most of their lanes. Spot wave right now not going to be caught, so maybe not ideal there from the side of SK, as they're going to lose at least a few creeps. Can't see if it's a cannon in bottom lane. So BDS not only grabbing the grubs, but getting some extra resources in terms of what they've denied from SK, and holding on to about that 1.5k gold lead.
Still a good position for BDS for sure. With Jinx having a gold lead, Sylas still winning. I mean, you'd hope as the Azir that you're able to punish this Sylas a little bit early and get him a bit under tower, chunk him out, get a CS lead. And he does have a 7 CS lead, but with the solo kill, Nuke is still quite a bit ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like BDS able to punish a couple mistakes from SK in the early game. Again, it was really SK, the aggressors in the bot lane 2v2, and then Nuke kind of just a call out onto Abbedagge. But as both sides have calmed down a bit, BDS not looking to be the ones to push the envelope too much outside of the cheeky look to Drake. We'll see if they keep trying to make aggressive moves. To be honest, I don't mind it. I like it more than just trading objectives when you've found this kind of early lead.
Yeah, it's more fun than just seeing PvE. I agree with that.
Yeah. Hey, look, killing minions, an important part of the job.
It is. You know, one of the few things I felt sometimes was like, I felt like enemy ADC was just better at killing minions than me. So he just got a CS lead and I was like, man, yeah, he just killed minions better than me. Like, we didn't even trade or anything.
If I look back at all your VODs, I'm sure what I'll say to myself is, damn, if he just killed minions a little bit better.
True. Crown is super good at killing minions.
It's just a, hey, it's a superpower, man.
Yeah.
Crowning, Chobi is...
Chobi's so good. Oh.
Parus kicking things off. That's the ulti pillar behind to try to stop the fall. Boukada ready to spin on him.
It's a bit deep here.
Barely fast enough. That's a bit of a fumble. SK don't really have any tools to re-engage. Loopy not quite in position to pull the trigger on the ultimate, or they might have been able to get a kill back, but also wanted to give that respect over to Nuke, and Nuke is losing at least one play in the mid lane for even attempting to stick his nose down in that bot side play.
Yeah, the gold lead on mid now has vanished, as Abbedagge was able to get a play, able to deny a wave. And BDS, again, they want to try to force a fight, but they're not fully able to land the crucial CC that they need, and it's just too weak.
Yeah. A lot of aggressive looks from both sides this game, and I don't think the team that has tried to force the fight has ever come out on top. Which, I'm going to be honest, if we go later in the game, I do think favors SK pretty heavily. You have a Trundle with the pillar, you have Azir, who I think is just fantastic if you have to engage into him.
Yeah.
But also, Rooster has just been quietly farming up a Storm. Pick this advantage, counterpick the Rumble.
He's clicking the minions better.
Clicking the minions better, pushing more waves, and he is going to be powerful in the coming fights.
Some key items completed here across the board with the Kraken Slayer on Jinx, Trinity Force on Trundle, and Trinity Force on Wukong as well. Nashor's Tooth now for Azir. I think now we're going to see a lot more damage. Now I think whoever starts the fight should actually be able to
finish it. It's not the bits and pieces Wukong built where you... yeah, fun fact, that champion is entirely Sheen procs the champion. Everything else, it's fake damage, for sure. So, need to see what the setup around this Drake looks like. It's 30 seconds until Cloud.
What do you think the soul's going to be?
Oh, you know, I'm going to go Chemtech.
I hope Hextech.
I mean, I hope Hextech too. Hextech would be hype. I'm going to go Chemtech.
It's always Chemtech.
Yeah, I'm a pessimist. I think that we found, you know, Chemtech is the glass is half empty sort of vibe.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say.
Hextech is the glass is overfilling.
Yeah, the glass is... What? That's not how that works. The audience ready. Hungry for blood.
It looks like SK is not hungry for blood, as they are cross-mapping this Drake, looking to pressure up top. Probably looking to get that first structure tower, first break tower, first blood tower.
Oh, Parus. Oh, Parus cut out. Trying to move out to safety, gets knocked up mid-animation. The pullback is there, and it's a quick pick. Skeanz not going to chase for too much more, but now fully zoned off that top lane tower is Nuke. So decent chunk coming out.
They're going to get that first brick.
Cloud, of course, down. Nuke moving in to clear the wave. They're not going to get that.
They're not going to get the first brick.
So Pick traded for Drake in the end.
Yeah, does equalize the gold lead quite a bit. It's only 600 now. Now you can see a little bit more how this matchup should look. But the Corki just dashing forward, chunking out the Jinx.
Mondo chunks. I mean, Training Force is such a powerful item.
Yeah.
I like hitting him with the... any emote that includes sound is a good emote to hit him with. I don't have the Rammus one that says okay, and it boils my blood every time anyone uses it against me.
It's pretty good.
Even if I outplay them and they do it, I feel like I've lost.
I think the sad B and the angry B is also very good.
Classic. Reckless classic. DnDn and Rooster continue to trade blows, but Rooster still has his ulti available. This is going to be a pretty tough dive if they do want to go for it. Skeanz, though, not.
Oh, great pillar.
Herb trying to get into the wall, does make it. Flash out. Well played by the side of SK. Now they should just be able to knock down this bot lane tier 1, and there's not much of a counter map player. There wouldn't be, but Herald just spawned.
Now that's that first brick for SK. So they're able to take down that bot tower. It's going to be the return of the Herald for Boukada. So overall, a pretty equal trade here.
Boukada gets the feats, though. Will be the third objective, as they already grabbed 3 grubs. So a little bit of extra.
Beats the strength.
But need to see what BDS did, because they've had 3 grubs all game, and they've had a Jinx, and they haven't ever set the map up in such a way that they've been able to leverage, I think, the fact that they can obliterate objectives, at least towers, very, very quickly.
I think especially that there hasn't been much action around the Sylas has been a bit lackluster from BDS, because when you're able, we've seen Sekka, you know, he gets a solo kill early on, he just takes over the whole game.
Yeah.
Happened against us in first stand.
Yeah.
So I was expecting more when Nuke got that level 2 kill.
I like that you said us. All of us.
All
Our
of us.
entire region.
All of us watched
Everyone
that.
here. You're included.
Sekka has like 17 kills or something. It was ridiculous.
Zekka bodied all of us.
Yeah.
We all felt it. Nuke not so far able to extend that lead. It is a bit disappointing after you get the first kill. Of course, you know, it's still tough. It's still a range discrepancy, the matchup. There was attention paid mid lane. They weren't able to get that kill when they played around the level 6s.
Yeah, and Nuke tried to move to the bot play, and that ended up being botched, so...
Yeah, a lot of little fumbles, it's safe to say, in this game. Little happy accidents.
That's usually what separates the weaker teams from the top teams. It's the little details, the little executions. And
also, can you pull it together in a late game despite a perhaps messy early game? That's what we saw from Fnatic. Losing in the vast majority of early games yesterday, still able to clutch the series out against TH. See if which one of these teams can perform better as we get later into the game. But now we're dead even. BDS at one point holding on to a 1.5k gold lead. Things now completely evened out. Of course, once the Herald is used, things will feel a little bit different. But SK also ahead in Flowers, so that's another little extra bit of gold.
The 3 flowers?
The 3 flowers, tiny bit.
I mean, if they're able to use the Herald to break down the mid tower, I definitely think that would be like pretty big for them, regardless of the gold that it generates, because it just allows them then to play much more aggressive on the side lanes.
And it's really hard for them if Abbedagge is planted mid lane to just knock a tower down, right? That's kind of the...
Even against the Corki, just use ults.
Yeah. A lot of wave clear. lot of wave clear. Maybe they want to use a Herald on a side lane, but they haven't knocked down a single tower yet, again.
No bricks for BDS.
No bricks for Jinx. Anarchy's for whole thing. Gotta throw a brick somewhere. All right, time to go off topic.
I was feeling it myself.
Yeah, it was,
like,
yeah, might as well call it out.
You had a good day?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, brother. We were playing Arena. We're terrible. I've never fought so much League of Legends in my life. Ice, Parus? No, okay. Continuing. How do you, is Kraken broken? I keep feeling like I should have been Guntall, and I keep seeing everyone build Kraken.
I think after the buff, Kraken is pretty decent. I wouldn't say broken.
Oh?
I wouldn't put ADC and broken in the same sentence, really.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't, but I've watched you at like level 2 kill any champion in the game. I think ADCs are like the masters of propaganda, man. I don't know why the balance team ever listens to you. You're always getting buffs, and they're always talking about how bad your role is. Boukada getting burned. Dun-dun. Overheating. Flown over the wall, and it looks like he will be fine. Skeanz wants to get the pillar, doesn't quite get him out of the air. And that probably would have been a kill, or at the very least a flash. Good patience, honestly, from Boukada.
Most likely going to be the Drake, though, going over to SK. As now Boukada is forced to base. So we're keeping the low pace of this game.
But it's Ocean Soul. We were both
Ocean
wrong
Soul.
in terms of the prediction.
Yeah. Would you say, okay, which Soul do you think is stronger, Ocean or Chemtech?
In this game?
In general, but sure, this game.
In the context of this game, I feel like Ocean is stronger. Keduii has enough range to poke, Azir Soldier poke. It's pretty good for both teams. It's not as good for BDS because I don't feel like they have reliable like long-range poke to, you know, if you want to trade a little bit, go back, proc it.
Yeah.
Normally
Chemtech
it's like...
would be pretty nice for Wukong Sylas, though.
Chemtech, very good for
Trundle.
Wukong Sylas. But I kind of stopped thinking about Chemtech when the community decided it was bad, and I said, ooga booga, that's what I'm going to say too, and then just kind of
Drakos loved Chemtech. I never understood it, but he was like happy when there was a Chemtech Drake.
Like back when it was the Chemtech Rift too, or the Drake?
Just in general.
Yeah. Well, that seems wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're not going to charge the Herald. No, they are. They're just going to get charging. Good. Ooh, Pillar. Not enough to stop the charge. Although I can't imagine that was very comfortable for the Herald.
Well, he died immediately after, so.
At least it was quick. Put him out of his misery.
Poor Sally.
Poor Sally. Is it Shelly? Wait, we need to ask
Shelly.
Atlas, because there's only one now. How did we decide which of the two Heralds survived? One of them has gone to the farm.
Turned into a grub.
Never returned. No, he's retired happily somewhere. It's a wholesome, it's a family game.
The grubs are the children?
I don't know. I don't want to go. I don't know if I want to go down this road. I feel like there's going to be too many ethical questions that I'm not ready to answer. Seems like poor parenting if the grubs are the children.
Yeah. They're raised up on the harshest environment. The Summoner's Rift.
It's really just if you've got the Sigma grind set, you can turn into a Herald. Otherwise, do you die a grub, or do you live long enough to become a Herald? And then also probably die.
True.
Well, 1.5 items. The game is slowed to a glacial pace. And I think that the Jinx, Ice, on BDS's side, and Abbedagge on the Azir are probably content to play the game at this pace.
Yeah. I think those two are definitely the happiest, while everybody else is like, guys, can we do something? And they're like, no.
No,
chill,
wait.
farm.
Third item. One more item.
One more item.
One more item.
But then Jinx gets IE, and she's like, guys, if I get LDR, though. And then once she gets the LDR, she's like, guys, if I get BT,
Guys, I just need a little bit of lifesteal, though.
Yeah, if I get
I need one defensive item.
Like, I get
fine.
poked out, I need lifesteal.
But she does need lifesteal, though. That's
need
the thing.
lifesteal.
You AD carries are so convincing.
Yeah, but it's true. That's
Don't fight, I have IE in base. Don't fight, I have IE in base.
Well, it is the biggest spike you could get, so it's like...
Time your
Big
back.
players will
Time your
fight
backs
over
better,
they will
bro.
fight over air, bro. It's space, and they're just like, I gotta control that.
It's true. Speaking of SK, determined to control the air here on bottom side. No one shall breathe it but Skeanz and Abba. Rooster.
This bush is mine.
Commitment. Hiding. Waiting. And okay, so honestly, in a slow game like this, I do really like when you just set a trap play.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it as well. Like, Rooster will just try to catch this wave, and now if Abbedagge backs off after this wave, then maybe Rooster will walk up. Or he senses it.
Okay, are they going for the cheeky full send on the Otacon?
Oh,
Then going in onto Nuke. This is a big chunk. Now that Rumble's burned his ulti, as long as he takes Nuke out of the fight, things are going to look pretty good. Nuke goes over the wall. They see Boukada. They can immediately start Otacon. Good use of information from the side of SK. Done. Nice pressure on the top side, 2-pull-2. Boukada's realizing that he's on the complete wrong side of the map.
And it's great play by SK to punish BDS, but at the same time, you have a 2v1 against the Rumble, and my Sylas is just running, and it's so disjointed.
Chaos, feels like the communication is just not there. And again, Otacon is a massive swing. Earlier it was 3 to 6 flowers, now it's 27 to 4. You want to trash talk the flowers now, Mr. Man? That's a lot of value.
But that's weird that they didn't get any flowers in the last 5 minutes.
Oh, they got one. They got one.
They got one flower.
So now let's take some time to appreciate the XP advantages.
You know, some levels just don't click the flowers.
I 100% believe that.
It's crazy. Like, I watched some streams and it's like, oh my god, you missed the flower. Bro.
I almost can guarantee you that when they did the floral Otacon, they took that mechanic out because people just weren't auto-attacking the flowers.
Yeah.
I would bet money on that.
Yeah.
League players hate pushing extra buttons.
But it's still satisfying.
It is sad. It is maximum satisfying. Yeah, and the satisfaction here for Skeanz is that he's now 2 levels up over Boukada, which again, this is the jungler who you know, left the team. You are the replacement, and it seems like you're outperforming in terms of gold, in terms of XP. Abbedagge also about to hit level 15. This is pretty cozy. Only Loopy, who despite the buff of flowers, is dead even with Parus.
Yeah, but it's support, so.
Yeah, that's fine. But Rumble level 16 around the corner, that's a big Otacon.
Bit of a cheese play here by BDS, but SK seems to know.
Trying to suss him out. Face first into darkness. They'll know Keduii's there as well as they see the rocket. Abba over the wall. 2.5 items. You got to be careful with these scoop plays.
Rooster is still on both here. SK could look to force.
Hook from Loopy doesn't go wide. Skeanz with the pillar. Now ulti across the top. It's a bit disjointed. They don't really get a massive chunk, and now Rooster has arrived. Chunks out Abbedagge. Multiple crucial cooldowns burned. Hook coming in from Loopy. Ulti across the top onto Nuke. They're zoning Parus away. Parus is already dead. Loopy grabbing the kill. The Ignite gonna finish it. SK grabbing another Drake.
SK are just able to do whatever they want. As BDS is so disjointed, they're never able to actually start a fight. They keep walking in, getting Nautilus hook. Surprise Pikachu face, we gotta back off.
And I'll say credit to SK because, again, both these teams swapped members. SK swapped 3, and they're looking more coordinated around the objectives. And in terms of their focus points on the map, yeah, like the first 3 kills were a travesty, but they laughed it off. They've come back, and they're in control of this game.
True. Let's see if Ice is laughing now.
What? It was Keduii laughing.
Yeah, so we'll see if Ice is laughing now that they're losing.
Oh, okay.
Showmanship.
I felt petty. I felt personal. I don't think you meant it that way, but that's how it sounded. Can't do that on cast, bro. Guldborg's gonna lose it. I think the big thing for BDS is, even if you manage to win this game, they're gonna need a stern talking to from Striker after this one.
Yeah.
Because this has been... They have been spectating a lot of this game, and we're the ones spectating this game. We don't need more company up here.
Yeah. I mean, one of the weird things about this game is, like, BDS changed top lane, but it still looks pretty irrelevant.
I heard O's in the audience. That was ruthless. Rooster's doing well individually. It's just the team play.
Yeah, that's why.
They're just not on the same page.
I'm not saying he's bad. It's just he hasn't done anything for the relevance
I think we clip that out of context. We call you a hater. We move on. I think it's that simple. I don't think the context matters. But yeah, also you're right. Dead even. We had almost like a 30 CS lead earlier. That's probably too much. It was maybe 15.
Yeah, it was a bit of a CS lead.
Item lead. Again, DnDn now level 16. The Equalizer is going to hurt in the next fights. And
I mean, Jinx does have Infinity Edge now. So I'd say this is definitely a good...
Yeah, but I don't like the strategy of, you know, hold on and pray for the Jinx. That's not, again, BDS is a team that had a catastrophic season last season. They finished well below, I think, their expectations, and that's part of the reason that they made changes. But this is a team that for most of the time they have been an LEC after that first year, where it was, again, kind of a travesty. We're like the definitive 4th best team. They were the benchmark for 4th best. And right now, we are not seeing that. That came from consistency and objective setup, consistency in games, and that has been completely absent. It is one game, and it's their first game in summer, but again, you don't get to play that many games.
Oh, Parus. And finds nothing. I completely agree with you, Drakos. All I was saying was trying to put some bright light on BDS, as Jinx is the only member that has a gold lead.
It's true.
So she has the 3rd item before the Corki does. Maybe that can be a catalyst for some fighting power. Although, it's like pretty equal across the boards if you look at inventories. Despite Boukada being down 2 levels, item-wise, he's pretty much dead even.
Yeah. Nuke also caught up in experience. Abbedagge is still about to take over to 17, but 16 is really that last big important breakpoint. Abbedagge now has the magic penetration, which is going to matter. Not a ton of MR on the opposite side, but a decent amount of mercs. And a Seekers picked up for DnDn, so can just play much more aggressive in the coming fight. Maybe Death Cap for Rooster is the breakpoint that BDS are waiting for.
I think the Drake in 1 minute 20 is really where the game will be decided. So we'll see how the teams are able to set up. But really, I think BDS should look for a flank with either Sylas flanking or Wukong flanking. They keep just trying to run in as 5. They had Aurora on the flank earlier, but Nuke here, finding Abbedagge.
Push back on Abbedagge, instant pick. Pushback goes there, Abbedagge leaving for extra second, flashing over the wall, the Ignite taking Boukada, chases and finishes the kill. This is a quick flash out from Skeanz. Not going to see a flank, but we will see a pick.
Yeah, it's going to be a Nash start for BDS here. We'll see if SK are able to contest. They do still have the Rumble Equalizer, which would be great in this Nash pit. But this goes down fast. This is a 3-item Jinx.
Shredding through, 7K getting lower. Skeanz, no flash, makes it so hard to get in the pit. 2K ticking away. They will finish it in the end. Nice fight coming in from Boukada. Lock up down onto Skeanz, and it's all falling apart. Ice finds the reset. BDS, though uncertain, will just back away. Happy to get the Baron.
But all BDS needed was 1 pick. Now they got the Nash. Still Drake in 20 seconds, but Skeanz will be dead for it, so that should be free for BDS as well. As we'll see how Nuke got this crazy flank here. He's able to utilize the ping port in the Nash pit, dash onto Abbedagge, take his ultimate, throw the belt behind him, knock him into his team, and he ends up going down despite flashing away.
Unfortunate Boukada, luckily there with the chase, also secures the objective. Triple Baron power play in favor of BDS, finally once again putting themselves in a pretty favorable position. And SK opts to give the Drake, again, you mentioned before, they don't have a smite.
Yeah.
So
hard to contest with
hard to contest, also you can afford to give one away, but this game, you can see at the bottom, total damage dealt to champions. It has been mostly a PvE kind of game.
Yeah.
But a little bit of poke from the Aurora, that single team fight from Ice, pumping up their numbers, and a lot of poke from everyone on the opposite side.
I think BDS will be satisfied if they're just able to get tier 2s with this Nash, but if they're able to get an inhib, that's where I'd say they're really able to swing the game fully in their favor. But if they're just taking down... Oi!
TP flank coming in for DnDn. Ice has already flashed back.
DnDn committing here, looks like.
Rooster ready to turn. Ulti across is going to catch out Rooster. DnDn overheating, but going all in onto Ice, looking to lock him up. He can go golden for a brief moment. The follow-up is now there. Skeanz can't quite get in, though. Knockup's coming through. Parus on the front line. Tower already laid down, but it might not matter. BDS turning the fight back in their favor. They're so determined to take down Ice, but they just couldn't finish the job.
BDS get 2 here as they look to continue chasing, and they can play for tier 2 maybe. Looks like they can't as they keep getting poked out by Abbedagge and Keduii's Corki. That was very overforced flank, and I think also very misplayed. DnDn should have waited for the Nautilus ulti to put down the equalizer. He also overheats too early, so he doesn't have any spells for the Jinx. This was a big misplay, I'd say.
Maybe some jitters on the stage. Coordination not quite there for this lineup. BDS much easier to just react in that moment. Ice doing everything he could to hold on. Also using the Seekers makes it that much worse because you do get an extra second, but you don't win the fight, so now your luxury item's gone. You don't have enough money to finish.
Look at Ice's inventory. Oh my god, he got all the items he needed.
Guys, just let me finish the Mortal Shield bow, okay? I know we have Baron, but I really just, come on, one more.
One more item.
One more item. No, they're in a good spot now. BDS have been here before, doing their best to put pressure on, keep this lead up.
The bright side for SK is the fact that Ice still doesn't have the flash. So if they're able to actually get onto him, he will just end up going down despite all the damage he has. As you said, he's not completed the Immortal Shield Bow, doesn't actually have any defensive items whatsoever. But if they just play it slow, let the front line create space for Ice, it looks rough for SK to really make any fight happen here.
Yeah,
use the equalizer to clear the wave.
Uses the ult to clear. We'll have it up for the next fight, right? Just have to avoid fighting before either of the 2 major objectives spawn. I think we are going to be going to another Baron. 33 minutes in, Baron spawning in 2. Drake also around the corner, so maybe a situation where
could
SK
be a trade.
Could be favored. They have Soul Point, right? So they could just rush Baron, ignore Drake, or punish with Soul is a pretty big one. However, Loopy gonna kick things off with a hook as Boukada immediately follows up and Loopy just gets deleted. Ice finds the first kill, resets are there, but it's a trade, 1-for-1. Support for jungler definitely favors the side of SK as they took Boukada out of the equation, but I don't think any of those kills matter as the tower doesn't fall.
Yeah, it looks like BDS is just forced to recall here. Not quite able to take down the tier 2, but I think Jinx maybe has shield bone. Not quite. Very close to it though. We'll probably have it before the final fight over the Drake. Or the Nash.
Yeah.
Sure.
Parus also exhaust ready for DnDn in the next fight if he wants to use it, or anyone who gets on top of Ice. So it is going to be tough to kill that Jinx, as Ice has started the portion of the game where he takes everything. The red buff belongs to him. The mid wave belongs to him. See, Rooster thinks he's allowed that farm, but he would be wrong because he's not.
No, he knows. He knows. Top laners know.
I don't think they do.
In pro games, they do.
Okay.
In solo queue, that Aurora's taking that wave.
You ult for that wave.
Yeah. Flash 2, maybe.
Every cannon is worth dying for. Worth throwing for. Now it is, luckily for the side of BDS, Rooster with the luxury item has picked up the Seekers for himself. Again, we're going to be maxed out on crit here pretty quickly for Ice. That is a terrifying, terrifying Jinx. So, similar to what we said before, I think SK are in the position where if they can find a quick pick, if they can take Ice out, there's an angle. But it is hard. It mostly comes down to Loopy, and he's been pretty eager to kick things off, I think it's safe to say.
I think both Parus and Loopy have been trying to create fights, but hasn't always succeeded.
BDS full grouped mid. SK not really in a good position to respond at all, so DnDn will once again be forced to ult. And that one is big because that ulti isn't going to be up for the next fight. 20 seconds.
I actually really like BDS macro there. They kind of called the bluff that DnDn is alone in mid, so they're able to force his ultimate to clear the wave, while SK has chosen to fully invest into the Nash. And they want to try to have a fight happen around topside, so the Abbedagge is pushing the tier 2.
Getting tier 2 is big, but won't be able to spend that money before the next time to fight. Does have a tower to retreat to. Rooster's going to realize that in a moment. Boukada potentially caught out on the side. Damage connecting from the Aurora ultimate, and Keduii going down. Rooster starting to take over. TP coming in on the top side, but it's a split fight now. Loopy and Skeanz running away on one side. DnDn on the other. Flash forward from Parus. Rooster going over the wall to continue. Ice ready to reset in a moment's notice. Try to keep this one going, but they're caught on the choke point now. Nuke wants to turn it, but the chains don't connect. Abbedagge and SK retreating. 2 picked up by the side of BDS for nothing. On the side of SK, haven't been able to find that kill back, and it seems like the Baron will be theirs.
Well, it looks like SK still wants to try to contest.
Move ulti back up. Chasing in now. Nuke once again not going to find the change. Boukada quite low. Abbedagge has the ulti, has the flash, can try to make the play, but instead they're going to watch the Baron fall. Abbedagge goes golden. He might have just trapped himself here, but BDS just happy to retreat.
And BDS get the Nash, and they're going to get the Drake too. So they walk away with everything. And now with this Nasher, BDS are looking to end the game.
They get Nash, move on to Soul Point. SK, again, it has been a game about which team can come into the fight on the same page. And in the early game, it was SK in a couple instances, but in the later stages, it's been all BDS as Rooster just goes in, solo kills Keduii, and this looks so easy.
I mean, SK are just so split up with Loopy on the flank. Abbedagge was still pushing top. That by the time Keduii ends up falling down, nobody's actually around him, and then they try to fight the 4v5, but they just don't have the damage.
Yeah. And it seems like Abbedagge doesn't want to go in, doesn't want to commit there because Nuke has stolen his ultimate away, can just interrupt it if he tries to slide in.
Yep.
At least my best guess. So it felt like there might have been an opportunity for SK to fire back a bit more, but instead the Baron will fall, the gold lead extends, Soul Point for both teams. It's a 7-dragon game.
Abbedagge here can try to slow down the siege of BDS, but full build Jinx and so much engaged threat from the side of BDS.
Oh, and the point in the game where you're just watching the cannon auto, the occasional cheeky auto from Ice. Nuke ushering a wave in mid lane, even if he doesn't have the range to really threaten the tower. Zonya's now completed for DnDn. SK doing what they can to hold the line.
Jinx does still have flash, but you can see she can't really just walk up to auto-attack the tower. All it takes is a pillar, and she's forced to burn it if Nautilus Hooks after.
Rapid fire IE for Keduii is a big burst of damage as both supports
Ice
just
flashed.
a little bit. And Ice flashed out.
Yeah, he thought he was going to get hooked, but Parus was blocking. So we were talking about how it's easy to lose flash against this comp. And now they have to play even a little bit safer.
And that might be the saving grace. That might be the little difference that they need to try and make this play happen. Loopy, Hex Flash. Who's he going to connect? Instantly onto Parus, trying to take up as much damage as he can, but might have a hard time making his way out of this fight. Pillar there too, and Parus just crashes down, out.
That was a lot invested from SK though. They end up using the equalizer and they lose the mid inhib as well.
But over the last few waves, it has just been Nuke and DnDn in the mid lane, as you highlight. And it means the tower's just been getting chipped away at. DnDn can't really walk up there. A slow, stalled out siege. Rooster stepping up, invisible for a moment. Abbedagge going in, instantly gets knocked up and canceled. There's nothing left for him in the fight as he gets completely one-shot. Pushback from Nuke is there. And already the Jinx is taking over. Loopy executed. It might just be a pen and ice. Quadra.
Go, go.
Going for more. How committed are they? One more auto, two more autos. Ice, first game of the season.
Keduii.
It was messy, but he wants the penta. The whole team ready to die for it, but the coordination isn't quite there.
No.
Give him the penta. One more auto. It looks like it's going to be the Quadra.
He's gonna
Give your life for the cause, boys.
Give it to him.
Commit! And the pentakill! Did it go?
Got it!
Okay. Oh, I just assumed. I assumed.
Oh.
And if that isn't the entire story of the game encapsulated in a single moment, I don't know what is. BDS taking game one. Both teams potentially back to the drawing boards, but glimmers of hope. Little things here and there that I think they can hold on to as we get ready for our second game.